Hello, everyone, and welcome to Immigration Talk Show. I'm your host, Nipasa, and I'll be joined by my co host, Sam, very, very shortly. But before that, welcome once again, friends, to Daily Immigration Dose. We're going to have a very important discussion on another important topic today. But before we head on with today's discussion, I have this important disclaimer, and that is by watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not professional advice. Use at your own risk. Our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. So, friends, that said, thank you so much for joining us. We are streaming live right now on YouTube. And you can also check us out, not just on YouTube, but also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, Instagram, and connect with us, follow us, stay in touch with us. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon, subscribe to us, and whenever we have discussions like these, you will be notified if you hit the bell icon. So do that. And yes, you can also join in today by commenting wherever you're watching. And you can also call us in this number where you can join us in this discussion. And the number is 425-436-6335, and the access code is 988-888. So, friends, thank you so much for joining us today. And today's discussion is going to be on this topic: no H-1B notification by March 31st. And here's what we can do next. So, yes, today's discussion is going to be on this topic because the lottery has finally closed on the 24th of March at 12 noon Eastern Time. So, yeah, let's see what's going to happen. We are waiting for the results very, very eagerly. And please help me welcome my co host, Sam, before we discuss on this further. So, hi, Sam. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Napas. I'm doing great. And once again, friends, welcome back to Immigration Talk Show. And today we are here with another very exciting and very, very important topic, that is no H-1B notification by March 31st. Here's what to do next. So, of course, March 31st is just around the corner, and I know a lot of people are anxiously waiting to hear about the H-1B lottery results. And it's a crunch time for those who applied, and the suspense is real. And most of you are having this question that whether you get selected or not, and what if you don't hear anything by March 31st? But
Mhm.
it's not just about getting picked. Also, there are so many details to keep in mind, and even if you get selected also, then also there are real challenges there. The process gets even more trickier, so you have to be very careful with each step whatsoever you take. And with that, you have to go ahead and just be hopeful, because this session is all about what to do next, even if you're not selected in the lottery. So, yeah, I think with that, before diving into the topic, let's have a quick news update.
Sure, Sam.
So,
So, okay, go on.
all right. Okay. So, this is the very important news, friends, and that's about 388 Indians deported from US since January 2025. So, since January 2025, 388 Indian nationals have been deported from the US, and with 333 flown directly to India in February. The Ministry of External Affairs is verifying details of 295 other detained individuals. India's stance against illegal immigration and ensuring humane treatment was reiterated during the Prime Minister's visit to the US. So this time, friends, we can see that around 388 Indian nationals have been deported from the US since January 2025. And out of these, 333 Indians were deported directly from the US to India on three separate flights in February. And separately, the US through Panama deported 55 Indian nationals who arrived on commercial flights, as said by Minister of State for External Affairs Kirti Vardhan Singh, said in a written response in the Lok Sabha. Also, the Ministry of External Affairs was asked whether the Union government has received the details of the person to be deported from the US this year. So we can see how Indian governments are being very responsible towards the Indian immigrants who have been deported. They want the whole background, they want the whole details about the deportee immigrants and also the current status, and that too very important. And In the reply, also, Kirti Vardhan Singh said of the 388 Indian nationals deported since January, 333 individuals after verification were deported directly from the US to India on three separate chartered flights, which landed on 5th, 15th, and 16th February 2025. So, the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement authorities have recently shared with us information pertaining to an additional 295 individuals who are detained in their custody with final orders of removal from the US. And the Ministry of External Affairs, along with other concerned agencies, is currently verifying the details of these individuals. And that too very important because recently we also got the news that the names of the deportees are being extracting from the system. But this time, Indian government are being very cautious, are being very much particular about the Indian deportees, and they are asking for the whole detail. They are asking for the whole information of those immigrants who are being deported. So, the need to promote safe, orderly, and legal migration while cracking down on illegal immigration networks was discussed during the recent visit of the Prime Minister to the US on February 12th to 13th, the Minister of State said. And India's consistent stance against illegal immigration while seeking humane treatment of deportees was reiterated. Both sides acknowledged the need to cooperate closely to aggressively address illegal immigration and human trafficking by taking strong action against bad actors, criminal facilitators, and illegal immigration networks. So, the government of India is focused on identifying and taking strong action against the illegal immigration agents. And of course, that has to be because they are the one who are responsible behind, these illegal immigration routes. So, yeah, that's all from my end. And this was the news. So, Napasa, please go ahead and share the other news update with us.
Absolutely, Sam. So I as well have another news update, and friends, for that, this is actually a case of a couple who are deported to Colombia after 35 years in the U.S. So yes, it's a shocking turn of events for Gladys and Nelson Gonzalez, a couple who had been living in the United States for 35 years, and they have been deported to Colombia despite their deep roots in California and their three US born children. So the couple, both in their 50s, were arrested on February 21st during a routine check in with US Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that is ICE. And they were detained for 3.5 weeks before being deported on March 18th. So, yes, it's a family torn apart. The Gonzalez family's deportation has left their three adult daughters devastated as they claim their parents never broke any laws after arriving in the US in 1989 and had consistently, complied with immigration authorities, and the sudden occurrence has left them in shock. That is what was said by the daughters in a statement, adding that their parents had been attending immigration check ins since 2000 without issue. Well, it's a system at a crossroads, and according to immigration officials, the couple had exhausted all legal options to remain in the US, despite their long term presence and compliance with immigration procedures. So, while entering the US without permission is classified as a criminal misdemeanor, merely staying without authorization is a civil infraction, not a crime. However, under stricter immigration enforcement policies, long term undocumented residents are facing heightened deportation risks. And, this move actually aligns with the ongoing immigration crackdowns, which are intensified under our President Donald Trump's administration and have continued with increased detention and removal operations targeting individuals without legal status. So, what's next for the Gonzalez family? The couple's daughters, all US citizens, they have launched a GoFundMe campaign to support their parents in Colombia as they now face an uncertain future in a country they have not lived in for over 3 decades. So the case highlights, the harsh realities of immigration enforcement, where even families who have built their lives in the US for decades can be forcibly separated due to their legal status. And yes, I think that this is not just one story, but there are so many people, families out there who are getting torn apart, and the Gonzalez family is one. So I wonder, friends, what do you think about this case? And should long term undocumented immigrants have a pathway to legal residency? And I would really like to know what are your thoughts on this as well. So please feel free to comment or even call us. And yes, keep watching us here on Immigration Talk Show. That's our handle. Check us out on Facebook also, and LinkedIn, and X, and on Instagram. So that's it. I think, Sam, we should definitely get back to our topic of discussion. And I can already see.
Nipasa, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm so
now we can.
okay. So, Govind, hi Govind, thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. Govind is saying, hello, what is the chances of getting picked in lottery this year as per your result? Number of applications are more than last year or less? Well, Govind, it's really hard to say right now. There's no information as yet, but I think we are all trying to know. So I do hope that you have been watching our news updates and also our webinars with different attorneys. But if we have the news of how many, any number at all, we are going to update you first. But right now, no numbers. But what is the chances of getting picked? We'll only know how many were, you know, how many had filed for the lottery. So let's see. And I wish you joined earlier, with Dr. Deepika, and if you wanted to know whether you would get selected or not, maybe you could ask her to predict. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Govind. Sam, do you have to say anything on Govind's question?
Um, I think it's really hard to say this time,
Thank
Govind,
you.
but it's a
Yeah.
very valid question. You know, everybody is busy on just assuming like what would be the result and how much will be the chances. So of course, right now we don't have the exact information what about the lottery, but we do have a lot of information regarding what if you didn't get selected this time, then what
Mhm.
are the other options or what are the other things that you can opt for. so I would suggest, Govind, that you be ready, be prepared for both the situations, because this is completely depending upon your luck. And there's no guarantee, there's no surety, but at least if you know everything, if you have the knowledge regarding all the other visa category or everything, at least the alternative options, then that will be little easier for you. And of course, it will make your immigration journey a bit easier. So yeah, I think thank you so much, Govind, and we are here for more than I think almost an hour. So make sure to comment here more and more. And the great thing is that you can also dial this number and participate in this webinar and have a great conversation with us. We can also see Sarvesh is also here, but let's take Sarvesh comment after a while. And with
Yes.
that, let me go with the first information about the H-1B registration closed on March 24, 2025. So, of course, we all know the registration period for the H-1B visa for fiscal year 2026 has been closed on March 24th, 2025. And this is the process where US employers submit applications for those foreign workers whom they want to, hire in the US. And after this window closes, the US Citizenship and Immigration Services begins notifying those who have been selected for the H-1B visa lottery. And this notification process will be finished by March 31st, 2025. So, friends, it's 26th March, just 5 more days to go, and March 31st will be the last day to know whether you are selected in the H-1B lottery this year or not. And also, the USCIS is responsible for letting employers and their representatives know if their registration was selected or not. And if they hear back by March 31st, then a big congratulations. They can proceed to the next step of filing the visa application. But if not, then stay tuned. We are going to move ahead and we'll let you know what else you can do. Yes, Nipasa, please go ahead with the next information.
For sure. I mean, it's very interesting because everybody is like, it just got over, and what happens next? What to do next? So, right now, I think we'll just have to wait for the results at least. We should know who are getting selected or what's the number at least, and if everybody could get any chance to actually being selected. So, first is, of course, the filing process, which is, I mean, you file for the lottery, and let's just see who gets selected. After that, of course, you'll have to successfully file a petition, and there are so many other different steps on it as well. But coming to our topic of discussion, I think, Sam, we should also see like what it means if you were not selected, and that means that you cannot file Form I-129 for an H-1B visa this fiscal year, and you will have to wait until the next cap season, likely March 2026, for fiscal year 2027. And your employer won't be charged any additional fees except for the registration fee, which also got so high this time, right? 215. And we hear so much mixed news actually from different people that there could be less registrations because of the registration fee being so high.
Yeah,
But also at the same time, we hear that since H-1B visa is so important for so many out there, not just many individuals, but also for tech giants or
yeah,
so many other officers who really need foreign talent, in their teams. So I think we'll just have to see. It just got, I think the process got a little different, beneficiary centric, but definitely fair for so many out there because everybody has an equal chance right now. And for everybody, I think this is really going to be a lottery. So if you have the luck this time, if luck is on your side, I think you will be selected. Why not?
of course. And there are so many people, surprisingly, who have been applying for like from 4 years, 5 years, or even more than that.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen this year, but at least up to my interpretation, I think we'll get less number of applicants this year because, of course, the registration fee is also increased and the specialty occupation definition has also been changed, modified a bit. And of course, so many new policies have been introduced this year. So people are not trying more and more to work, I mean, to get selected in the system because of course with so many challenges. But let's see what happens in 2025. Lots of surprises are there, and of course every day we get up with eye-opening news, so we can't say anything and we just have to see what's going to happen. So with that, yeah, let's go ahead.
Absolutely, Sam. It's so true. And I think, we also got another comment here. I would just like to say, since we're already discussing about it, Sialvi Saab, hello, Pasa, when the results of H-1B will come, any idea? So, well, it is happening right now, and I think they are counting. So soon, results should start rolling in, and we should know by 31st of March, right, Sam? Like, at least, like, and maybe let's see how it goes. We will be updated in our systems. The beneficiaries will be updated whether they're, how many people got selected for each beneficiary. So, yeah, I think that too. And Pavan, we will take up your comments. Sarvesh, we will take up your comments, but just stay with us for now, all right? So, yeah, coming to our point of discussion, sometimes USCIS also, they don't send out notifications all at once. So if your employer hasn't received an update, wait. I think it's best to wait for a few more days, and I think by first week of April it is. What do you say, Sam? Like, everything will be out, right? All results
Yeah.
will be out. Everybody should
Yeah,
be
by
notified.
yeah, by 31st of March, everything will be out, and till 31st of
Okay.
March, USCIS is going to notify those applicants who got selected and those who didn't get any notification. So, absolutely, there's no chance for them this year. You have to better luck next time. And that's how I think it's going to happen. And it's just few more days to go. And good luck to those who have applied for this year. And if not, then better luck next time. But I think, Nepasa, let's also let our viewers know like what to do if they are not selected this year, right? Because it's a panic situation and they think that if not this year, then everything is just devastated and they lose hope. So friends, let me tell you that if your registration is not happened this year, then don't panic. It's not the end of the road. There are several ways to stay and work in the US legally. And one of the most straightforward option is through day one CPT. So let me tell you what it is. Day one CPT stands for curricular practical training. That is the work authorization options for students. So in certain masters or doctoral programs, you can start working right after the first day of classes. So as soon as you join your class, the great thing is that you can start having your work as well. And this allows you to stay in the US as a student while also gaining work experience. And the great thing is that the student status can last up to from 5 to 8 years. And that's a pretty long year, right? It gives you plenty of time to either try again for the H-1B lottery or apply for green card during that period. Because 5 to 8 years is, of course, it's not a less year. And it's a great way to keep working without having to leave the country. So those who have not get selected this year, friends, you can look for the day one CPT option, as this is a very straightforward option, a very simple option, and is really going to be very beneficial for you, and is also provide you a lot of time. Where the great thing is that for your first day of classes, also you can start working. And yeah, I think this is the first point from my end. And Pasa, please let us know more or other options that are available for our viewers if they didn't get selected this time.
Yes, and absolutely, there could be other visa options also. So there you could check out for alternative visa options if you were not selected this time, or what else can you do? I mean, depending on where you fit in, of course, whether it's L1 visa, O1 visa, TN visa, STEM OPT extension, or even cap exempt H-1B petitions or employer sponsored green card. So depending on what are you doing, what is your status right now, if you work for a multinational company, you may be eligible for an L1 intra-company transfer visa also. So it's very different. So depending on what situation is for you, and what your qualifications are, of course, so for an L1, it's very ideal for individuals who are moving from a company's foreign office to its US branch. It's very interesting, this one as well. It could be one option. And another is an O1 visa, if you're an extraordinary person, with extraordinary abilities in the work field, in your field, like STEM, arts, or even business, the O1 visa might be an option for you. And it really requires strong proof of achievements, such as awards or maybe even high salaries or publications where they speak about, what you have achieved. So O1 visa is one such visa. And right, Sam, if you want to add more visas also.
Sure, I think there are plenty of visas right now, and
Yeah.
friends, I would like to suggest from my end, instead of our opinion, it will be great if you could also go and watch our shows that we did with attorneys, and there we had a lot of like I would say a very insightful discussion regarding the alternatives of H-1B visa. So if you can check out our channel, Immigration Talk Show, then you can find a lot of topics that we have already been covered regarding what are the alternatives of the H-1B visa. Recently, we did our show with attorney Marcelo Gondim where we talked about O1 is better than H-1B or not. Then with attorney Chan Parvit Neni, we also had a great discussion on regarding the alternative visas. So there you'll get a proper, I would say, detailed information regarding all the visas, the L1, O1, or TN visa or whatsoever you want to know more and more. Because that's how only friends, you are going to know more and more about your status also. It's not just the H-1B visa is there existing. Of course, H-1B seems to be like pillar of the US, going to US and work over there. But it's not the only option. There are so many options. It's just you who need to be more open. You have to explore more and more regarding the visa categories. And of course, the O1 is the great option, but there are different challenges. And if you are eligible or not, you have to take a personal consultation with the attorneys. And for the TN visa, also for the L1 visa, these visas have their own different requirements, and different cases are also there. So please go ahead and be more vocal about your case with immigration attorneys, because they are definitely going to guide you in a best way which other visa categories can suit you and how you can go to US. So yeah, I think this is the second main very important point that our viewers should know. And I think let me go with the third option also, and that is this is very interesting from my end, that you can also move to Canada. Well, most of the time, of course, it's not only US, but moving to Canada can also be a little easier option, because Canada is not very different from US, right? Canada and US are a bit similar, so people who are somehow not get to enter to the US, then they can look for the other countries as well, and other country, the best option is Canada. So Canada has the great thing is that it has much easier immigration process as compared to the US. And of course, US immigration process is really tough. It is one of the toughest immigration process as compared to the other countries. But Canada, at least, it's much easier. And the country is known for its openness, diversity, and welcoming atmosphere for immigrants. So Canada has a lot of opportunity, friends, for work and for live. I mean, to have a great life over there, and that is almost similar to what you would find in the US. So the healthcare system is highly rated, and of course, the education is excellent. So many people who find it easier to get permanent residency in Canada, and once you are settled, then the other option is also you can move to US as well. And this can be a little simpler for you, because it is much difficult from India to move to US as compared to Canada to move to US. So this can be the other option. Of course, this is a bit lengthy option, but here we are and sharing the other option. So this can be the other thing as well. And be wise enough, be intelligent enough to decide and to choose which options are going to suit you and which options are going to be right for you. So that's all from my end.
Yes, absolutely. And also another thing is, well, if you know, you'll have to first, of course, check your USCIS account, and if you haven't received an email, don't really assume that you were not selected just
Yes.
yet, because USCIS does not send individual emails for selection. Instead, you will just need to log into your USCIS online account and check the status of your registration. So, if you check your status and your status says selected, that means congratulations, that your employer can now file the H-1B petition on your behalf within the designated 90 days filing period.
Yeah.
And if your status says submitted, that means that you were not selected in the first round, but you are still in the system. So if USCIS needs to conduct another lottery later in the year, then your registration could still be picked. And that is when your status says submitted. And if your status changes to not selected, then it's time to explore alternative options. And some of them we already discussed.
That's right.
Of course, waiting a little longer, you'll have to keep checking if there are any updates. A few more days of wait is always best. And then keep checking your USCIS account.
That's right.
Um, any more points, or should we just take up a couple of comments first, Sam?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let me take Sarvesh one. Sarvesh is here, and Sarvesh is saying a green card holder, even if I may like that green card holder, doesn't have an indefinite right to be in the US, United States of America. US Vice President J.D. Vance, in a recent interview with Fox News, said Trump administration stops processing some green cards to do more vetting. USCIS says it is placing temporary pause on finalizing certain application for legal permanent residency or GC. That's right. And Sarvesh, thank you so much, as this is a very important news. And I think yesterday also we covered this one. So, of course, right now the green card holders are also facing a bit difficult. It's not, I would say, that they are being banned or they are not allowing to re-enter the US, but of course they are the one who are also facing some challenges. And what are those challenges? I would suggest, Sarvesh, tomorrow I'm having a show with attorney Uma Mantravadi where we are going to have a detailed discussion on this topic only at 2 p.m. EST. So make sure you join that webinar, because that webinar is really going to be very important, and a lot of information will be there from our attorney. So do join us there and ask questions in that session, and that will be really great for all of us. And of course, we'll have more and more learnings from each other. And Nipasa, please go ahead and take Pavan's comment.
Sure, and Pavan is saying for refugees and those who have been granted asylum in the United States, it would be a vetting on top of a process that had already occurred, one that is quite rigorous for refugees who are usually vetted overseas before they can set foot in the United States. I think, yes, there is going to be a lot of vetting, as we have already heard from so many attorneys in so many of our webinars and discussions, that we'll just have to be prepared for a lot more vetting coming in, and a lot more scrutiny, a lot more interrogation, a lot of everything. So it's like, if earlier everybody were concerned about security and getting answers and a little scrutiny, now everything has just doubled or tripled, you can say. So just be ready. Whether you are a tourist visiting the United States, or you are a person living in the United States, working or studying, if you're traveling outside and coming back in, or just living in the United States also, I mean, you just have to be super ready for everything.
That's
A
right.
lot more questions also. Yeah,
That's
so sorry. Thank you, Pavan, for joining us. And Charles, yeah, Charles, would you like to take this up?
Sure. Charles is saying, if my employer is cap exempt and I was also selected for the lottery, which one should I apply for? Okay, that's a win-win situation, because cap exempt is also good, and if you are selected in the lottery, that's also a great one. But Charles, right now I would suggest that 2025 is, of course, you can't gamble this time, and you can't try something new or experiment something new. You have to take each step very carefully, and that is why consulting with an immigration attorney would be the right thing for you. So make sure to go ahead and watch our webinars, because we also have live shows with lots of immigration attorneys, and there we also share the contact details. So please go ahead and get the contact detail, any attorney that you like the most, and give her a call, or share the email, or get in touch with her or him, and you can ask this question with them, and they'll definitely provide you the best answer. And Charles, why don't you join our session by dialing this number? You can join our session by dialing this number, that is 425 with the access code 988888. So go ahead, Charles. We are waiting for your call, and it will be lovely to have you here.
Absolutely. And now, Monali, one of our comments, viewers who joined us on YouTube. Thank you, Monali, for joining us. And she's saying, if the deadline passes without a notification, will I need to rely on my employer to follow up with USCIS on my behalf? Or is this something I need to take action for myself? So, since it is beneficiary centric, I think you will just have to ask, firstly, of course, contact your employer if they already have the news and they haven't been able to give it to you. So check out with your employer, of course. And if you still want more news, if there hasn't been any update, like we said, if your status changes to selected, it's going to be different. If your status changes to um, uh, not selected, is going to be different. And if your status changes to submitted, it means that you were not selected in the first round, but you are still picked in the system. So these are some of the options that you are going to see or hear. So you just have to be ready for that. And apart from that, I think, yeah, you can't take much action unless yeah, I think you'll just have to contact for that.
Yeah,
But
Nani, I would suggest, of course, the actions can't be taken by you, but at least
yeah.
you will be, I mean, you can set reminders, or you can be very much aware about the deadlines, the dates. Well, usually it doesn't happen that the employers forget the deadline or miss out any deadline. But if it's happening, then I think it's a big red flag, because you know what else, it's a big negative thing, because missing out the deadline is very, we would say, a very careless attitude, and this shouldn't happen. So make sure that at least from your end you are setting up the reminders, you're noting up down, and just make sure from your end that you are careful enough, so that even in case if your employer misses out some important updates or deadlines, then you are there for your application. And Charles is here, and he's saying that, I'm sorry, please, I'm in the work office now. That's okay, Charles, no worries. We come up with daily immigration doors at 4 p.m. EST from Monday to Friday. So you're most welcome to join us from Monday to Friday. And hopefully you'll be joining us tomorrow. So please go ahead.
I think, Charles, you should definitely join us for one of our webinars with different attorneys, because that way they'll be able to give you better answers and clear cut answers. So we will take note of your question that if your employer is cap exempt and you were also selected for the lottery, which one should you apply for? So we will take this up, and I hope, Control, you can also note this down. And thank you, Charles, for joining us today on this show. I wish you could also join us on call, but yeah. Coming back to all of our discussion, I think, yes, alternative visa options could be something, but also another thing is we could look out for a second lottery. Who knows that could also happen, and that would actually be quite an interesting thing, right? Though I mean, it's still a maybe. We haven't even been through the first one yet, so we'll just have to wait and watch. So if you see submitted, like we were saying earlier, right, as your status, then don't give up yet, because there's a chance that USCIS may actually conduct a second round of lottery later this year. And if that happens, your submitted status is going to be super, super helpful too. So yeah, I mean, if you look at previous years also, 2021, 2023, USCIS had held lotteries in July, then August, and even November, because the number of H-1B petitions that were filed was lower than expected. And if selected applicants really fail, to submit their full petitions by the deadline, then USCIS picks additional registrations from the pool. So this is, and I think this was what Monali was also asking, right?
Yeah.
Um, if fail to submit the full petition by the deadline, then USCIS will automatically pick additional registrations from the pool. So yeah, and I think we'll just have to keep monitoring USCIS as updates. If a second lottery is announced, also we will be the first ones to let you know too. So do check us out and subscribe to our channel at Immigration Talk Show. And yeah, look out, because your status may change from submitted to selected at any time. So
That's right.
yeah.
And Nipasa, I think I have one more point about
Yeah.
what happens if somebody didn't get chance to, selection. I mean, didn't get select this time. Then friends, you can also explore other countries also, and you can step out of your comfort zone. And Nipasa, I think we had a discussion on this topic as well, where we shared different country names also, which countries will be good for our immigrants, right? So
Yes.
you can also go ahead, friends, and check out that webinar where it was daily immigration doors only, and where we shared some top 5 countries from all over the world that could be great for you, if not US or if not Canada, then what else? And that will be a better option for you, because obviously so many countries, and it's really hard to go ahead and have a check on each country, which country has which type of immigration process and how immigrants are living there. So instead of having, I mean, putting up a lot of time, it will be easier for you to go ahead and check out that webinar also. And of course, beyond US and Canada, also there are so many countries with amazing opportunities for work and life. And whether it's Europe, Asia, or even Latin America, I think you can find countries with strong economies, great job prospects, and different lifestyles that might suit you better. So, taking time to travel and experience different cultures can be really exciting and amazing. Also, you'll have the chance to meet new people, make international connections, and gain new perspectives on life and work. And I think Napasa, who doesn't like traveling, right? Traveling can help anybody to grow personally and professionally also.
Yes.
So
I
I think
agree.
this will be a bit happy option, a bit relaxing option, because of course they have to be financially good enough to ready to explore. But friends who are financially stable, I think this option will be suitable for them.
Absolutely. I mean, if only we had the, all the money and all the funds to do the recce before we really settle in, even for the next 2, 3 years.
That's right.
Travel to each place and know and actually check like which place would I really want to be in for the next 3 years. Wow, that'd be so cool. But but truly, I mean, we have discussed so many things, and another thing which Sam has already mentioned is, you could check out which countries you could really try for. Maybe even remote jobs, and you could actually be somewhere in your dream place. Who knows?
Yeah.
uh, Dream country, maybe chill totally with your friends and new cultures, or explore the whole new city. But of course, you can look out for what options you have, and all the best, friends. It's always good to have more options in your plate and decide what works well for you.
Right. And what else, that you never know that during your travel also you might find a country that feels like the perfect fit for your long term goals. Maybe you
Absolutely.
were just trying so hard to fit in US or in Canada, but somehow you get your perfect match in some other country, and I think that will also be a great thing, a great chance for you. So don't try to limit your option, friends, whether it's visa categories or whether it's countries. Try to be more open regarding information, regarding everything, because more as you have more and more knowledge regarding your status, regarding anything in the world of immigration, is definitely going to be very helpful this time. So I think that's all. And Napasa, we have shared a lot of information. So I think it's time to wrap up our session.
Yes, absolutely, Sam. And another thing, one last thing probably that people could do is, wait for the next session as well. So I know that's way too long later, but that's another option. You could start actually planning for the next fiscal year too. So not to worry. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but maybe not this time. Who knows? Since it's a lottery, it'll totally be dependent on luck as well. So let's hope for the best and keep our fingers crossed. But I know it's just very, very frustrating if you miss out on a lottery too. So, but like we've discussed earlier in this session as well, that it wouldn't be, your the end of the American dream for you. So look out for your options, and yeah, let's consider what else do we have for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think this is it then, Sam. It'll be really nice that if friends out there can subscribe to our channel at Immigration Talk Show, so that whenever we have, discussions like these or even webinars with amazing attorneys, you will be notified. So Charles is saying I will join as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charles. You We will look out for you. Do join us in tomorrow's sessions as well. And yeah, this is it. Check us out not just on YouTube but also on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. And do not forget to subscribe to us, hit that bell icon, connect with us, follow us, and also you can email us. My email address is nipa@staffingly.com, and Sam's email address is sam@staffingly.com. Also, you can WhatsApp me on my number or call me up on this number just if you have any other questions, or anywhere we can note down, what answers you need so that we can direct them to the guests who join us in different webinars. And my number is 408-335-6444. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us today on Daily Immigration Dose. It was really nice having you with us. So stay tuned and watch out for Immigration Talk Show.